Hi,
my name's Erin.
and I'm Albert,
I'm a senior keeper.
and I'm an aquarist.
That means that I take care of all of the birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and terrestrial invertebrates that live here at the California Science Center.
And I take care of all the fish, the marine invertebrates, and the algae. And today we want to talk to you about the Association of Zoos and Aquariums SAFE programs and how the California Science Center is involved.
SAFE stands for Saving Animals from Extinction, and it was established in 2015. The mission of SAFE is to combine the power of zoo and aquarium visitors with the resources and collective expertise of AZA members and partners to save animals from extinction. We are working together to save vulnerable wildlife species from extinction and protect them for future generations. In 2019, $231 million was spent on field conservation for the 25 safe species that are found in the Americas, the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, Africa, and Asia. SAFE has 299 partners made up of 147 AZA member partners, which includes the California Science Center, and 152 field partners, which includes 17 government agencies. Last year, through the efforts of SAFE programs, 1,350 acres of habitat was cleaned or restored, 115 miles of shoreline was cleaned, over 50,000 seeds, plants, and trees were planted, and more than 4,100 families donated over 16,000 hours of time to help save animals from extinction. Here at the California Science Center, we participate in SAFE with western pond turtles, sharks, and rays. Our western pond turtles are not on exhibit at the Science Center. They live in a pond here in the Wallace Annenberg building where we have our Science Center school. Observations of the pond's habitat are built into some of the class curriculums. Let's take a look. Western pond turtles are listed as vulnerable by the IUCN. Partners of the SAFE Western Pond Turtle Program are implementing projects that directly address the threats impacting the species, including head starting, reintroduction efforts, and the formation of range-wide conservation efforts. The primary goal of the Western Pond Turtle SAFE 3-year action plan for 2019 to 2021 is to prevent them from being added to the federal endangered species list during this year, 2020. The long-term goal is to ensure the stability of the remaining western pond turtle populations and support healthy population growth and expansion within the species range, which extends from western Baja California to the Puget Sound region of Washington and into western Nevada. The range used to extend into British Columbia, but the turtles have not been seen there since 1959, and they are now extinct in that area. Western pond turtles are the only native freshwater turtle throughout most of their range. Western pond turtles are particularly vulnerable to habitat loss and fragmentation, as about 50% of American wetlands have been lost. They are also threatened by predation, pollution, competition with non-native turtle species, disease, human disturbance, road mortality, and illegal collection. Here we have 2 female pond turtles, which we acquired a few years ago from the San Diego Zoo. One of them is 31 years old, and the other is 16 years old. They have not been selected for a reintroduction program or for a captive breeding program. The California Science Center keepers are hoping to become involved in local conservation work for the western pond turtle in our nearby mountains. For now, they are ambassador animals for their species, and they help our teachers here teach children about science. Now I'm going to turn the time over to Albert to talk about his role in SAFE.
Thanks, Erin. So another of AZA's SAFE programs focuses on contra ichthys, which is a big fancy word that describes a class of animals whose skeletons are made entirely of something that you and I actually have in our nose and in our ears, cartilage. We actually commonly know these animals as sharks and rays. Now, there are over 1,000 species of sharks and rays in the entire world combined, which is a lot to keep track of. So, SAFE Sharks and Rays highlights those that, according to the IUCN, are either critically endangered or data deficient. Globally, sharks in general face critical threats such as human-driven climate change, bycatch, overfishing, habitat loss, and a plethora of other unsustainable practices. So many of these species are either top predators or they play a very pivotal key role in their respective ecosystems, which makes them acutely affected by seemingly small changes to their environment. So as with other SAFE projects, Sharks and Rays faces unique challenges and goals, and they outline steps to meet these challenges and goals in conservation action plans, or CAPs, and species survival plans, or SSPs. So these plans are usually species specific, and they cover a variety of topics, ranging from supporting ongoing and new international research to encouraging collaboration between institutions and bodies in the advancement of husbandry and welfare. So here at the California Science Center, we have 2 species of sharks and 1 species of ray. Now, they're not part of any conservation action plan, nor any species survival plan. However, we're still very proud and happy to have them because they're an integral part of the kelp forest. Let's go take a look. So while we don't actually have any marine animals that participate in any conservation action plans or species survival plans like our western pond turtles, we're still involved with SAFE. And as part of the overarching, SAFE Sharks and Rays project, I actually serve as the regional coordinator for the United States Pacific Northwest on the Shark Census. And the Shark Census is basically a little sub-project that facilitates 2 points of action on the Conservation Action Plan for Sharks and Rays, which are to 1, maintain population data for captive populations, so looking at any sort of sharks and rays that are in human care. And we do this by requesting collection data from facilities and institutions worldwide. Now, these don't have to be AZA accredited, which means that this can include anything like research, college facilities to your local fish store. And then number 2, we collect lab data from captive populations by establishing a database of lab test results, which will then provide us a much needed insight into animal health. As the regional coordinator, it's my responsibility to coordinate and recruit institutions from Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, and Hawaii that either had, have, or will have any sharks or rays in their care, and to get them and their animals on the census. So we do this through the Shark Census website, which makes it really easy for users to register and submit data, and then to also see that data. Here they can upload everything about their animals from species, sex, age, and even blood work. The census currently has data on 253 unique species from 204 facilities across 49 countries. And 75 of those facilities are from the United States alone, which is about 36%. So by having an accurate census and representation of the animals in our care, we can then make evidence-based and informed decisions when it comes to formulating plans, allocating resources, and the management of our own populations, as well as the decisions around the conservation of wild populations. Through this participation, we actively encourage inter- and intranational cooperation and collaboration between institutions,